Good morning. It is Friday, the day before we head to the veteran champs. Today is my last day of like prep, getting everything ready. It's currently actually really cold. It's like 11 degrees, and I'm just gonna go get Dobi in, and he'll be in for the day. He's having a day off, so he's gonna come in for his breakfast and his hay net, and then I'm going off to pick up the horse box that we've hired. I have a little 3.5 ton panel van, which is great for things like hunting, which is mainly what we do. It's great for day things. It doesn't really have the storage for any kind of overnight thing. So we've hired one, we're going to go pick that up, and then it'll be a day of packing and getting the last bits ready before we leave tomorrow at stupid o'clock in the morning. So we're travelling up to Arena UK, which is Grantham, from Suffolk, so East Suffolk, right near the coast. It should take probably three and a bit hours maybe, depending on traffic. I've got a class tomorrow afternoon, the small hunter class, so I want to get up there nice and early, give him a chance to go in the stable for a bit, and then we can, you know, do all of our warm up and everything like that. So yeah, final day of prep, trying to organise everything, trying to get my own mind like kind of straight and okay about what's happening. I'm trying not to think about it too much. I have a massive, it basically just feels like my stomach is about to fall out my bum. So yeah, but it's a beautiful day, beautiful morning. All our horses are very happy and chilling out. So yeah, we'll go find the boy. Good morning. Good morning. You can hear the bloodhounds. So just through that gap over there, in the next village over, is the hunt kennels. So he's very excited. They've got hound exercise today, which I would usually be going on because it's so close by. But I was so tempted. I was like, should I just take him? And I was like, no, because number one, I don't want anything to happen. Yes, I know. But number two, I don't need him to go back into hunt mode just before the champs, because his hunt mode is, yeah, it's quite, what's the word? Forward would be a kind way to say it. Out of control would probably be the, you know, the correct way of saying it. Hi, my gorgeous man. Can you hear your hounds? Yeah. Not long, and then we'll be back with them soon. So Dobby's just been put out. He was in today, went and got the lorry, went and got stuff from Tesco's. So now it's just packing and putting everything together, and I think I'll feel a little bit better then. I'm starting to get that really sick feeling. There is a hound exercise that's about to happen like at 6, I think, just over there. So some of our horses have gone, so yeah, the hounds are, you can hear them, so Dobby's going to investigate, I think, because he loves his hounds. I'd love to be able to take him tonight. I have visions of catastrophe. I just don't want to risk anything after all the money and time we've invested. So yeah, Dobby's out for the night. He's had a bath, and yeah, it's time to just go pack everything up. So I keep just telling myself, you know, I get really nervous, like really nervous, with any kind of competition. Hunting, I don't get nervous at all, hunting, but I get really nervous with competition, and I'm just trying to tell myself, you know, the fact that we directly qualified the first year that we really were showing properly, is amazing. And you know, really anything after that is a bonus. So I'm just trying to tell myself, just go and enjoy it. It really doesn't matter, you know, if we're placed, where we're placed, or anything like that. I just want to go and have some fun with my boy, because yeah, I might not do it again. I've said to a couple of people, depending on how he feels and everything, this might be a one and done for us, in terms of like championship classes and stuff like that. And I don't think I'll take him back to the Suffolk, just because he doesn't really enjoy showing particularly. He likes to show off, but you know, flat work isn't his bag anymore. He just finds it a little dull. And he does, you know, he's 21, he's high mileage, he's got wear and tear, and I just want to spend time doing what he really enjoys. And I felt sort of obligated to do the champs this year purely because we qualified, and it was kind of like one of those once in a lifetime things that I said to Mum, I think if I don't do it, I will regret it if I don't do it. But yeah, I have no expectations, or I'm trying not to have any expectations. I don't know how he's going to respond. I don't know how he's going to feel or behave, or which version of him I'm going to get. So it's really hard to plan in that regard, and I'm a real planner. I need to know, you know, I need to have a plan. I need to know what's going on, and I find it really hard with him because it's hard to read him. Like one day you'll go to a show and he'll be, you know, dead. And the next day you'll go to a show and he'll be at Mach 10 and charging around the ring, and I'll have no control at all, which is another reason why I didn't want to do the hound exercise why I'm not doing the hound exercise tonight, because like he doesn't need to go back into hump mode. But yeah, so I'm just trying to like talk myself into being like chill. I'm not chill. I'm not a chill person at all. I'm a really type A kind of person. So I'm just going to try and go and enjoy it, and enjoy the experience, and enjoy meeting people that I've spoken to online and haven't met in person yet, and all that kind of thing, and just have a nice time with my pony. And hopefully, yeah, whatever happens, and that's fine. But yeah, I'm trying not to get any hopes up, any expectations up, and we'll see what happens. So my arm is getting really tired. I don't know how people do this all the time. But yeah, so I'm gonna go pack the lorry and make sure I've got everything. I've got my checklists, so yeah, see you in a sec. So this is my little van. As you can see, she's just a panel van. Perfectly good for what I require on the daily, you know, day trips, hunting, that sort of thing. Not so great for stayaways because I've never done one, so there she is. SPJ horse boxes, shout out to them. It is, I mean, I've never driven anything like this. It's like, it really, I mean, I say mine's like driving a car. This really is like driving a car. It's so fast and the brakes are really good, so I'm going to be really careful. But yeah, so nice little orange seats. There is definitely a theme. And then that way. I'm gonna get shut in. There we go. And little stallion build, so it's really nice. It's going to be really good. Hang on, how do I get out? There we go, I'm out. So yeah, looking forward to getting this all packed up. Oh, there's even a mirror on there. Oh, that's good, that's genius. So yeah, better start getting everything packed, and hope I don't forget anything. So I've got Dobby's meals pre-made. So obviously we're going up tomorrow morning. So he'll have a little feed when he comes in before we go. So we've got Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Monday morning. And then what I've also done is packed some extra of all of his feeds. We're literally at the bottom of the bag of the Power Performance. Like, that's the dregs. But I didn't want to buy another bag because he won't have it in the winter. And then that's his Muscle and Focus. So just extras, just to be safe. I might have to pop over to Alan and Paige and be like, can I have another bag? Little tiny sample bag of Power Performance, please. But yeah, so that's everything pre-made. And then I can do this and then put a lid on there, and then that's all them made and done. Which I got a tip from Kate Lewis, who does a lot of stay away showing, and she does this as well. And it's just brilliant, and it's going to save loads of space. So yeah, thank you, Kate, for that. Okay, so we've got the feed box, we've got all the feeds, we've got a new stirrer, we've got, just to prevent any cross-contamination, we've got a quick fix for his belly, just in case, got a calmer, a pre-fuel rev up, so we've got his extra feed there, his scoop and bowl cover, his joint supplement, which is liquid, so I won't add that until I feed, recovery mash, and some stud muffins, because he loves stud muffins. So yeah, feeding box. Everything should be in there. Right, many hours later, I think I'm done. So, got a little bed there. Hopefully he won't do his usual river of wee. We'll try and get him to do it in the stable. Nice bit of EH hay, ready to go. Everything in the Luton is like, there's sleeping bags up there, there's camping table, camping light, air mattress, Dobby's massage pad, saddle stand, first aid kit, that sort of thing. And there's a really deep lip on this right under there, so that's not going to come out and drop onto him. Right, this is where it's a little bit chaotic, ever so slightly. Ta-da! So everything's secured, nothing's going to move around, and even if it does, it can't hurt him. So we've got all the boxes in there with everything. It's all labelled: feed, saddle pads, rugs, boots, some of my stuff, extra bridle, extra reins, extra bit. Then we've got obviously saddle back there, got my groom basket, my coats are hanging up behind there, broom, shavings fork, 2 bags of EH hay, 2 bags of bed soft, water, I've got some steps back there somewhere, and then obviously the rubber matting, which is very much front and centre. I've got a big red bucket for skipping out, because I don't want to take a wheelbarrow, and then a couple of other buckets, one for his water and one for his washing off, and then a ton bag, because I am not the kind of person who can afford to leave 2 bales of bedding. So that will be coming back with me. And then I've got a couple of hooks that I'm taking just for a bit of extra storage. Yeah, so I think that's everything. Got a folder in the front with all of the paper bits and bobs that I need. And I think the rest of it is my stuff, clothing and stuff that is look at her, she's so pretty. Oh, this is so much prettier. But yeah, so hopefully, fingers crossed, everything is sorted. They're so cute at SPJ, I think, yeah, SPJ. They give you a little lunch bag with like some snacks in it. How cute is that? Yeah, that's adorable, love it. Got the keys, and I think we'll lock her up for the night. Yeah, I think that's everything. Hello, Apollo. Yeah, I think I've got everything, and I shall go through my checklists about 5 times tonight, so see you in the morning. Morning, it is, I think, just after 5:30. I've been up since about 4:30. So down the yard, everything's packed. Made Dobby a little breakfast. Just gonna go get him in. While he eats that, I'm just gonna chuck the last few bits from my car in the lorry, and then we'll be away. So yeah, time to go and wake up the hordes. Good morning. You good boy. Here he comes. I'm sorry, I forgot to pick up a treat for you. You're a good boy. I know. Do you think we're on early morning exercises? You're in for a surprise. He's never been on a lorry like this. Oh, wait, wing. You wing. No, he likes to have a wee in the lorry. You're gonna move over. That's it. He hasn't been in a lorry like this before. Oh, you good boy. Oh my goodness, he's so scary. He walked straight up the ramp because he's a superstar. So I bet as soon as he's rubbing his bum now. Little sod. As soon as I shut up this ramp and this partition, he's going to wee, because he always does. Naughty boy, you're so good. Come on. Oh, handsome boy. Come on. I'm just going to take him for a wander about before I put him in the stable.
What do you want me to do with the pup?
Leave it for the moment. Okay. And then I'll sort that. Oh, you're a good boy. You're all covered in hay. Oh, yeah, we've arrived. He's been really chill. He's very chill. So I'm just letting him have a walk about because it was quite a trip. Very straightforward, really easy, no hold-ups. But obviously like 3 and a bit hours. That's the longest he's done. So I'm just going to let him stretch his legs wandering around the empty bits of the stables. I've put his bed down. I've with the rubber matting and done the hay, and he's got a mash soaking. So yeah. What are you looking at? Oh, he's so clever. Come on then. He's so good, really. He takes everything in his stride. Should we go down here again? Good boy. No. He's great. So yeah, so far so good. We've got a lovely thick bed and shavings and mash and his hay. And he's dribbling everywhere. But hopefully a happy pony. So we'll let him chill for an hour or so. It's just after 10 o'clock and I'm pretty sure my class is just after 1. So yeah, give him a chance to decompress and we'll get platting. Oh, the nerves are starting to kick in now. He's been so good. Yeah, well, she did something earlier, I think she said. You're being so good. Hello, gorgeous. Always a big sigh. Smile. So this is the first class of the day that we did. Well, I say the first, the only class of the day we did on the Saturday. So we just started off walking around the ring and up into trot. He was feeling a little bit sluggish, a little bit behind my leg. We hadn't really had much of a chance to warm up properly, not as much as I'd like anyway, because they closed the big warm-up ring and put a class in it because they were running quite far behind. He did pick up a little bit here. He's quite funny if he sees something, if something, kind of spikes his adrenaline, he kind of starts to hold himself a bit better. And of course he had to have a poo here. But yeah, he was motoring a little bit more now. It just takes him a few strides to get going. I am not a huge fan of how I rode this class. I was very nervous. I always get nervous, but I was very nervous. And I just felt like I could have been more effective with the way I was riding. So coming into the canter, he's just again on the forehand a little bit, not particularly engaged. He, behavior wise, fantastic. But just trying to pull me down and forward, trying to pull the reins out my hand, leaning. And obviously when you're in a show situation like this, you don't want the judge to see that it's supposed to look effortless. So I was trying to let him motor a little bit, let him get that speed up, let him feel a little bit more free in his body, and stretch a little bit, because the warm-up ring we'd had was very small. That wasn't a terrible downwards transition, but it wasn't amazing. I need to really learn to sit up and back a little bit more. He does fall into his downwards transitions. Like, he's actually getting quite a nice trot at the moment, but watching this, I just feel like I could have supported him more in the front. He's, I don't mind an more open frame. I just felt like I could have held him together a little bit more effectively. That wasn't a terrible transition. He's slightly weaker on this rein. He was obviously a vaulting horse for a long time, and they only ever vault on the left rein. It's always the left rein. So he's very much more built up. And we had a little spook there because there was some plastic tape that was flapping, which my cousin then went and ripped off, which was very helpful. So now, even though this is his weaker rein, I feel that he's finally kind of got into his stride. Again, something happened outside the ring. He kind of went whoo, and it gave us a little bit more impulsion there. I'm quite happy with this. He'd come up a little bit in his frame. He was feeling a little bit more, like he was with me, but he does get bored very quickly. Because of the size of the ring, I was trying to just keep him in his space, keep him moving forward, keep him entertained, and that was, again, slightly falling out of the gate. We were coming back to walk here, so I just wanted to push that trot a little bit more, and yeah, he went okay in this bit here. So this is the beginning of our individual show. I need to be better at holding him together and presenting him. I tend to let him just flump around when we're kind of walking towards the judge, or and it's not a good impression. But he did do a very nice a very nice turn and stood fairly square. The judge was just asking what he did, asking, what his history was. She was very impressed with the fact that he still hunts every week in the winter. I'm pretty sure he was the only one I heard in that class that actually hunts. And he was the oldest in the class as well. And of course, the only non-grey, which was slightly off-putting. We were just this big black homunculus in the middle. So she asked us just to walk away, turn and trot back and do a show. This is something that Dobby sometimes can be a little bit spicy with. He has sort of clocked what this bit is. So I was trying to just wing out a little bit, come back round on the circle straight towards the judge. He picked up the trot quite nicely here, nice amount of impulsion a little bit, but again, watching him come around this corner, I'm just having to nag. You can see I'm really having to push, and I wasn't holding him together. Here is where he loves it. He going across that diagonal, he loves that move, and he will show it off as much as he can. But here, he just went backwards with me, and I really kind of had to force him into that transition. You can see he's pulling his head down again. He's not really moving forward in the way that I would prefer. He's not terrible, he's just feeling a little bit off his game, and he had a really long trip today. It was a long day. The more we go, he does pick up a little bit of pace and a little bit of ground coverage. That wasn't a bad transition at all. I didn't hate that. I got myself in a bit of a pickle here purely because my mind just went blank, and I was like, okay, where do I turn? And I was trying to visualize a ring with letters, again, across the diagonal. He was quite sprightly here. The arena was very dry. And again, just a sticky transition. He's one of these horses where if he nails it, he nails it. And if he doesn't, it looks a little painful. Just trying to keep him upright, keep him balanced, stop him from leaning, but also letting him travel. He is a bit of a pest for, he will try and canter almost on the spot if he feels that he can't move forward. So I was, again, trying just to drop him back down into that transition slowly, a few strides of trot, and then I like to show a few strides of walk. And not a bad halt, actually. I'm quite impressed with that. Again, I need to not throw the reins away for walking back. I was okay with this. looking back, that didn't look so bad, but I have a really bad habit of being tired after the show, like our individual presentation, and just kind of throwing the reins away. So yeah, that's something I need to be more disciplined on. And he stood nicely. There we go. Stood up nicely and proceeded to go to sleep. So we were pulled third in this class, which I think was a fairly fair assessment of the placing. He had moments where he looked really lovely, and he was really moving nicely, and then moments where he was stuffy and not quite so nice to look at. I do wish the photographer got a nice wide shot of this class with Dobi the little black cloud in the middle of all those greys. And yeah, he in the lineup, he just gurns all the time. He doesn't matter what sort of contact I have on the reins, he will stand there, he will throw his head around, he will pull his lips back and show his teeth, and just generally be a bit of a pest. All those other horses stand there looking lovely, and he's just, yeah, you can see, just being a little bit of a child. I really was gutted to miss out on the evening performance, but again, I don't, it was a fairly fair assessment. Just a little, again, just a bit like he was obviously just feeling his journey. I wish I had travelled up on the Friday, but there was a bit of question about whether I'd be able to get the day off. So yeah, just let him go a little bit. I was very aware of the fact that the photographer was down this next long side. You can see me there just trying to lift him a little bit so he didn't look quite so on the forehand. And it was a half decent photo. See, there he looked really nice. I wish I had pushed him a little bit more in our individual just to get him going around. Overall, not terrible. A third isn't bad. Just a little gutted. So before the show, they advertised that there was going to be a massage therapist on site. So I decided to book Dobi in, because we all know he loves a massage. He had one with his usual masseuse, Debbie, on Thursday, and this was also a lady called Debbie. So I just thought it would be nice for him to have a session after his long travel. It was really interesting to hear her comments on his condition and how he was looking and faring and feeling. Obviously she's not someone that has ever seen him before. She really did like how calm he was and how open to the treatment he was. So she just felt him over for some, any sore spots, anything restricted, anything tight. She did think that he was slightly tight through his last rib, and the thoracic sling. And she did also ask about when he was due a saddle fit, which is imminently, is the answer to that. So, good result, and she was very pleased with him. So his neck's all good?
Oh, that is beautiful.
You got a beautiful neck, Dobby.
Other Debbie will be very pleased to hear that.
It is. Oh, do you know, it's a pleasure. It is really nice to work on what they think. Oh my God, they're actually, yeah.
You're such a good boy. I am gorgeous.
That feels really.
Aww. So after the treatment, we just took him for a little bit of a walk. Things were winding down for the day by this point. It was, I think, probably around 4-ish, 4:30. So just wrapped him up, put his Snuggie hood on, and took him into the warm-up ring. This was the warm-up ring. This was where we should have been warming up for our previous class, but they put the side saddle class in here because it was running a bit late. So yeah, just booted him up, wrapped him up, and took him for a bit of a wander just to stretch his legs a little bit. Debbie didn't get too deep in some places. There were a couple of areas where she said if she was treating him as a normal client on a daily kind of routinely basis, she would have released a little bit more, got a little bit deeper, but she didn't want to make him sore for the next day. So here I decided just to have a go trotting him up, because we were going to have a trot up portion of the Supreme Final. He decided he was going to try and run Mother over. Pretty standard for him, being very belligerent. There he is. There he is. Just check if you're warm enough, Mr. Man. You good boy. I just come to check that he's okay. Under there. If that's okay. Put under there. Yeah, I think that's fine. You're a good boy. So, I've done the first class. Feeling a little down. Only because it was one of those rare rides where it felt better than it looked. I watched the video back and I was like, just disappointed. I felt like I could have ridden better. I just feel like I didn't ask enough of him. Sometimes I'm just a little too kind of soft, I guess, on him, and I just don't feel like I really got the best out of him. I mean, he did fine, he came third, so we didn't get to do the evening performance, which is a shame. I would have quite liked to do that, but obviously we've still got the Supreme tomorrow. I'm wearing my Supreme jacket with Dobi's name on. Are you finishing your dinner? Just mopping up the last dregs. So yeah, you see everyone coming back from the Supreme, well not Supreme, the evening performance. With all these like rosettes and like sashes, and it's just like, I just felt like I could have done better. So I need to really kick myself in the arse for tomorrow. He feels really good. He had his massage this afternoon and he's got Theraplate tomorrow at like 10:30, I think. So I'm giving him every chance to feel great. I just need to go in there and ride properly. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one, you know, you just feel a bit, like, it's hard to describe. I shouldn't feel disappointed because he kept a lid on everything, and we really didn't get a warm-up, barely. They have this massive warm-up ring, and I was like, yeah, brilliant, I can let him stretch. I went to go in there and they'd put a class in there, and the warm-up that I could go in was the warm-up for the working hunter, so it was tiny. And it had two jumps in it, and people were obviously wanting to warm up over the jumps, and it was just like I couldn't get like a good. Dobby's just dropping hay everywhere. I couldn't get a good like flow, I guess, because I had to keep like avoiding people who were jumping because it was a jumping warm up. So I managed to do a little tiny bit in the collecting lane before we went in, but I just kind of, yeah, I think I went in with a slightly backwards attitude. So yeah, just feeling a bit blur. But you've been so good. You've been a superstar, really, haven't you? You have. Yeah, just. Oh, hello. Okay, so I just need to get my arse in gear and stop moaning. Yeah, Dobby says yes you do, because you're being annoying. So yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, nothing's actually gone wrong. It's just like, I just watched the videos back and went, oh, I could have ridden so much better than that. I could have asked for more than that, but never mind. I'm gonna fill up his water, wash his feed bowl, and then I'll come back and check him in a bit. But he seems fine, he's nice and warm. Yeah. Your neighbour's very grumpy. He's very grumpy, isn't he? He keeps saying hello and then shouting and kicking the wall, doesn't he? And you're not doing anything. You're just standing there. Poor old thing. It's about 6 in the morning. Rained a lot last night. So Dobby's breakfast is just soaking, but we're just going to go for a walk. Just to stretch his legs while his breakfast soaks. Good boy, idea. Just come out for some grass. Dobby's having a good route around and a good scope out of the facilities. You good boy. You handsome man. Yeah. He was very good last night. It absolutely chucked it down. But he was fine. He was quite happy. So we'll see what happens today. Happy anniversary! You're such a good boy. You're a good man. It's our 5th and 7th anniversary. You were so handsome. You're being so good. So the spoilt little brat, as well as having a massage, also got a TheraPlate session. And he has had the TheraPlate a couple of times before. We used to have one that came to the yard. And he loved this because the lady who was doing it was just posting treats down his throat. He was having the best time ever. Sorry it's been radio silence, but it was absolutely shitting down with rain earlier. So I couldn't really do everything at once. And, you know, he had the TheraPlate and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it was kind of hard to try and do that and film stuff while it's pissing with rain. So we're all ready to go, apart from Coke because it's really, really hot. It's muggy. We're all ready to go, just walking around a bit. I think they're running a bit behind, so yeah, see. But he feels better today than, he feels more up for it today. So we'll see what happens. Tell you what though, this horse is bloody good. He's never done anything like this as far as I'm aware. We're here at a super, super busy place. There's banners everywhere, there's pigeons everywhere, there's balers everywhere. And he's just been so good. Absolutely nothing has upset him. He's such a good boy. So I need to just keep thinking about that. Good boy. And just, you know, a 3rd place isn't the end of the world. Yeah, I didn't get into the evening performance, which I really didn't want to do, but it's not the end of the world. And today I'm going to go in that ring, and if he tits around, he tits around, and I shall just say, well, at least he's feeling good. He's 21, at least he's feeling good. Look, you've been past that like 10 times. I've just said how good you are, don't be a spanner. But yeah, I really just hope that, I just want to come out of it feeling like I've done my best. And if my best isn't enough to place, then that's fine. Any placing would be lovely. It's a big class, and we'll just see how it goes. You never know what the judge likes on the day. I mean, I had a horrible feeling about the Suffolk, and then look what happened there. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Every time I get my phone out, it gets up. So here we are, the big one, the one we had been working towards for 3 months. And as you're about to see, it didn't go well at all. We were running over an hour late, and we didn't realise. So I was on him for 2 hours at this point. It was so hot in this ring. It was just, I thought I was going to pass out. He started off not bad at all, but he was getting more and more cross, as you can see. Like, he's moving beautifully. I was so pleased with how he was moving, but he was just getting crosser and crosser and crosser. And there we go. That's the first problem. He starts jumping around. He's tucking his chin, just getting so upset. And yeah, there really wasn't anything I could do here. He was just folding himself under. I tried letting the rein go and he shot off. I tried tightening the rein and he just tucked his chin. He was picking up the wrong lead. He was getting sassy. He was throwing himself around. It was just very disappointing. And here we have our individual show. So by this point, I knew that we'd blown it. That was it. We were done. We weren't going to do well. I managed to keep him together in this. He was really trying to anticipate me. And, you know, just a sticky transition again, you know, backwards, not thinking forwards and upwards. I was trying desperately to bring him back here so that we wouldn't go across the diagonal at Mach 10. And as you can see, it just wasn't working. He just wasn't listening to me. I was trying to reassure him, talking to him, trying to settle him down. That was a better transition. The judge gave us a set show. It was very short, very sharp. You can see me trying to bring him back here and he was just running straight through my hand. He was flicking his legs around. He was trying to change and changing back. You know, just not listening at all. I was trying to get him to walk here. He just was not having it. And there we go, walking back to the lineup, knowing that all that prep, all that work, all that money, all that time has just gone out the window. That was it for us. There was no way we were getting any kind of placing. I knew damn well we weren't going to.
You good boy. Happy to be home, aren't we? It's a lot of effort doing that. Oh, shaky man. So we're all home. I'm just going to take Dobby's plaits out because I didn't bother doing it when we were there. We just wanted to get on the road quick, didn't we, my love? You were so naughty, the most naughty man. But yeah, he's travelled really well. He's not too hot or anything like that. He's gorgeous. So we're going to take the plaits out and he's going to have a recovery mash and then he can go out in the field and he'll have a few days off because he deserves it. So Sunday night, we were due to stay another night just because I was like, when I booked it, I was like, I don't know what time things will finish. I don't want to rush to have to come home. Turns out plenty of time. My cousin came to watch and helped us to unload, or to load everything rather, and tidy our stable and things. So we just thought we might as well come back tonight. And he probably would have been, I think, the only one in his row in the stables. Steady on. Who is that coming to? Oh, is that Othello? So he probably would have been the only one in his block. And while he doesn't get upset being on his own, I was just like, I just want to go home. Kind of recording's been thin on the ground today. It didn't go well, so I am really disappointed. I know I said I was going to be just what will be, but it just felt like we went back to Woodbridge Horse Show, you know, at the beginning of the season. He just lost his shit and went bronking around the ring, throwing himself around. We got jammed up between, or like behind two little ponies, and he had no room. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, this is going to sound like an excuse, I'm pretty sure before we went in that something bit him or stung him or something, because he just shot forward. And then actually, when we finished and we're packing up, a lady who did the class after that, the pre-veteran, who's actually she's local to me, she comes in the shop where I work. She's lovely, and she said that before she went in, her horse got stung and was bucking, and when her groom stood behind, you could see a huge lump on it. So whether there was just something in there that was stinging, I haven't found any lumps on Dobby, but he just all of a sudden completely changed. I mean, he was so good warming him up, and I did end up sitting on him for like 2 hours because we didn't realise that they were running like an hour, and by the time we went in, we were supposed to be in at 1:15. We didn't go in until like 1:30. So I got on thinking, oh yeah, I know they're running a little behind. Didn't realise how much. I wouldn't have got on him that early if I'd have known. So, and it was so hot in that arena. My God, I said to the woman next to me, if they don't announce the winner in the next 30 seconds, I am going to fall off this horse and pass out. It was so hot. I had sweat running down my face. Even the grooms who were in there had sweat running down their faces. It was awful in there. yeah, it was just disappointing after such build-up. And I really, you know, with it being our anniversary today, I was really hoping for a fairy tale ending, which hasn't come. Dobby's very keen to get out to his field though, so yeah. I'll talk a bit more about it in a minute, but just deflating, you know, it really is. After so much build-up and so much work and so much effort, for it just to go back to pot, like, it was like he just went charging around. It felt like the last kind of like 3 months haven't happened and we were back at the beginning of the hunt season. That's how it felt and how he reacted. And yeah, I said I wouldn't mind him a little bit on the spicy side rather than him being dead, but he was not. He was beyond spicy. He was fucking Vindaloo, weren't you? You were Vindaloo. So yeah, anyway, time to put the boy out, let him go, see if he runs around. Straight in for a massive drink. He's just had a recovery mash, so getting nice and hydrated. He was such a good boy. He travelled back so well. Yeah, he's been a superstar all, like, for the weekend. He really has been so easy to deal with. It's just it was just today. When it really mattered most was when he had a meltdown. So, just very unfortunate timing and very disappointing timing. I was really hoping, you know, just for a placing, not even like top 5, you know, because they did the top 10. They placed the top 10. I was really hoping for a placing, just to prove that he is that good. But Dobby said no, so yeah, never mind. Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't complain really. I just said I went in there with no expectations, and I did go in there with no expectations, and certainly not the expectation that he was going to respond that way. Like, you know, yesterday he was if anything, he was quite dead, and I thought, oh, he's going to be like that again, you know, especially because it was so hot. It's so hot in that arena. But yeah, I was really hoping that we would just get round there nice and smoothly. Even if we weren't placed, I could say, well done, Dobby, you had a great season. You know, that's it for you now. And then we could go back to hunting. But yeah, it just didn't work out that way. He was just so... As we went in, I mean, when we were in the collecting ring, there was this fly buzzing around him, or something buzzing around him, because he was really irritated. He kept kicking his own belly and, like, you know, itching himself. So there was something around him, and I said to Mum, there's a fly. And then as we were going to, like, towards the gate to go in down this little chute bit, he just suddenly kind of went, huh, and then so I was, what's that, you know, did something make him jump? And then we went in and he was marching, so there was this tiny little fell in front of us, so I like just circled him across the other side of the arena, and then everyone came in, walked a bit, and then they said trot on, and he goes, like, you know, takes you forward into the trot, which is a lovely feeling when he does it. But then the longer we were trotting, the more he was kind of going, let me go, and he was getting closer and closer to the horse in front of him, because they were small, you know. And then she said canter on, and I was like, oh god. And the horse in front cantered, and Dobby just went whoom, you know. And he was pulling his head up and down. He was doing exactly what he did at Woodbridge. He got himself in such a lather, and he kept picking up the left lead canter on the right rein. And I kept bringing him back, and I kept asking him, and he kept doing it wrong. And then so we changed the rein, and then on the other rein, he was just so strong. He was charging, he was throwing his head in the air, he was trying to get past other horses. He was just being a real fucking baggage, quite frankly. And there was no need for it. I mean, I think he probably did. Something must have happened when he kind of like went whoo as we went in. And the fact that my friend said the same thing happened to her horse, and her horse is a saint. You know, her horse is just phenomenal, and he bucked in his trot up, and he never does that. So she didn't get placed either in her class. So yeah, it was just really disappointing. I think but I don't think I could have done anything different. I think that was always going to happen, and he's never done anything like that before. It was, you know, we were in the big arena, it was hot, there was lights, there was people, there was tannoys, there was music blaring, and he'd been waiting around for ages, and I just think he boiled over. I don't think there was anything else I could have done, unless, you know, except realising that they were running so far ahead and not getting on as early as I did. But he was so good in the warm-up, and I was thinking, yes, this is going to go, so, you know, like finally he's off my leg, he's feeling good. But yeah, so not the best note to end the season or this sort of video on, but we'll be back doing what he loves next week. We got hound exercise next week. I'm really bad at this, I keep holding it down to like here, but yeah, hound exercise next week, and he'll be much happier. Whether we do anything next year remains to be seen. It's however he feels. If he feels good, we might do some little unaffiliated things. We're not going to do the Suffolk again. I just think, one and done, we did it, we came, we saw, we conquered, and that's all I need from him. We might go back to the VHS next year and do some open classes, you know, that sort of thing, but we'll see. Yeah, so thank you for getting this far. Sorry it's so boring. Anyway, I'll see you soon.